Welcome back to Don't Take My Word for It. Today we have on April and Cece from NAWIC, the National Association for Women in Construction. Is that right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah. Guess go ahead and introduce you guys.
I'm April Plank. I work for Branco Enterprises. I'm a project manager. And for NAWIC, I am the immediate past president and currently the membership chair.
And I'm Cece Barr. I work for Queen City Roofing. I am the office manager and the current president for our NAWIC chapter.
There you go. So what exactly did you said your group was having like an entire event this week, or what exactly is it?
We're having it's a national WIC week, which is Women in Construction Week. We have things planned Monday through Friday for all of our chapter members. I don't know if you want to go through what exactly each and every one of those are.
Yeah, so WIC Week is a national celebration of women in construction. The intent is to promote women in the industry, celebrate our accomplishments, thank the companies that we work for that support us. So the week is just filled with educational content and fun events and things that are not only for our members, but also for other women in the industry to kind of see what we're all about.
So are you guys are you going out to like schools and trying to get people into your group, or how are you just doing it all social media? Like, how do you get people aware of your...
Yeah, how did you guys end up in NAWIC?
So, yeah, I can speak to that. So we do a lot of networking. The NAWIC chapter does a ton of networking events, membership drives. We do go to different businesses for our monthly meetings and things like that. So we may drive membership that way. Definitely word of mouth. We have a lot of social media presence, which does get us some members inquiring that way. But for next week, we've got specifically a couple of things that are geared towards bringing new people in to see what we're all about.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So do you want to talk about each individual thing, or you want me to go ahead and throw them out there?
Go ahead and throw them out.
Okay. So Monday we are doing what we call a proclamation, which we get with the city of Springfield. And I believe it's the mayor who's going to do this for us this year. They're going to proclaim that next week is officially Women in Construction Week for Springfield, Missouri.
Awesome.
They'll read through this whole big,
Proclamation.
Yeah, that's pretty fancy. It's kind of fun. So we'll have that Monday. There's not a lot of people coming to that, so it's just mainly for our chapter members, and then we post it on social media for everybody to see. That just kind of gets the week started, and lets it be official in Springfield, but a lot of cities do it.
Gotcha. So is it just trying to get women in construction, or is it just like in all sorts of different career paths? I guess it's called Women in Construction.
This particular proclamation is for specifically women in construction.
Okay.
Cool. Just getting the word out that women are in construction, and we do all types of work in the construction trade.
Gotcha. Yeah, whenever I worked at Branco, they actually, there was this, I think it was a bricklayer subcontractor or something. There were like several women on his construction team and stuff, and that was different. You don't see too many women in it, so I could see how you guys could definitely get some traction doing that.
Definitely not enough trade women in the industry.
What do you think that is?
I personally think there's all kinds of reasons. People don't have what they would consider to be enough experience.
Okay.
There's always a fear factor. There's just also a diversity issue in the industry where you have a lot of, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but a lot of the older population came up with it just being men. And so there's always this barrier of trying to not only accept women, but younger people coming into the industry too, and having a certain level of respect. So there's a challenge there. I think a lot of girls don't know what their options are, but trades are a good option and viable for anybody.
Yeah, and they're high-paying jobs
Definitely.
too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I used to weld at Lauren Cook in Springfield, and there was only one woman she was welding there. But I went to welding school with quite a few women, and I just never saw anybody actually working in it. I don't know what causes that to happen, or maybe it's just not at Lauren Cook.
I think that one or few women in most places is pretty common right now. I know the stats are coming up over the last 20 years. They've gone from like 7 or 8% of women in the industry to probably closer to 10 right now.
Gotcha. So what made you want to be like a project manager? Did you grow up in construction and?
Yes, somewhat. So my grandfather owned a custom home business when I was young, and I did spend a lot of time with him on the job. And I just got interested in it then. And so when I went to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, that was kind of the path I chose to take. I didn't go to school for it right away, kind of fell into a temp job and just worked my way up from there and then went to college later on.
Gotcha. And what do you do at Queen City?
I'm the office manager.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Started out there 27 years ago, answering the phones.
How to know your way around.
And just, yeah, exactly. And just worked my way up from there into the office manager, doing all of the office work, the accounting and all of that.
Awesome. So what do you think, like, to get more women into the industry, is that like a HR problem, or are they like stereotypical about it, or do you need to?
It's from my experience, it seems to be they just don't apply.
Oh, okay.
They just don't come in to fill out applications for the work. We're trying to get the word out. I think it's getting better in the sense that the younger guys that I work with specifically treat me as an equal. I think because their mothers worked versus the older experienced workers.
Gotcha.
Their wives, their mothers didn't work. Their place was in the home. And it's hard to get past that, but I think we're working on that.
Awesome.
I think it's just something that as time goes on will get more and more normal, I guess.
Yes.
I mean, that's one of the main focuses for NAWIC is to promote awareness, of trades, women in construction, and just let them know where the avenues are to apply for things. We do a lot of sharing of resumes and job opportunities.
So what do you guys, during this week, are you going to have like a, I may have kind of already asked this question, but like, are you going to have like one main event that everybody meets up with, and then you have applications come in and you try to lead them towards jobs and stuff?
You said Mondays. What are the rest of the week's events that you had going there?
Tuesday we are doing a trivia night, which is an opportunity for teams to come in and just compete in a trivia. It's fun. It raises a little bit of money for our chapter. We'll definitely be talking about NAWIC to anybody that comes to that event.
And it is a co-ed event. Most of these other events are going to be specifically for the women. But we like to get the men involved, the men that we work with, to show us to show them the organization and what a strong group of women that we have.
Gotcha. That's cool. What do you guys have, like a certain job site that you're going to go to, or is it?
Yes.
So was it last year that we first toured Convoy?
Yes.
That's where we're going again, right?
Yes.
So we're touring for the second year in a row the Build for Convoy of Hope, which is actually right near Branco's office.
Yeah, that place is huge.
So we saw it last year when it was maybe a quarter of the way underway, and now it's quite a bit farther along. So we'll get to see it in various stages, which is a neat opportunity. And then after that job site tour, we have just a social hour where we can really talk about NAWIC and tell prospective members what they might find with us and see what we can do to help them. Probably the event that I'm most excited about is actually on Wednesday. We are partnering with Habitat for Humanity to volunteer during their Women's Build project. It's a house that they're building for a local family, and it's going to be 100% built by women.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Is that in Springfield, or?
It is. It's in Springfield. I don't know the exact address, but
it's on Catalpa. 1327 West Catalpa.
There you go.
Is it written right there on the page?
Yeah, it is.
There you go.
Try to be prepared.
But yeah, so they like to have shifts of 10 volunteers in the afternoon and the morning, and we've got 7 at this point. We may have a few more come in, but pretty excited about that. It helps our members learn new skills and demonstrate the skills they might already have, and just all around feel good about themselves and help the community at the same time.
Perfect. Yeah, you guys may go to like OTC or something and ask their programs if they have any girls that would want to volunteer for something like that, or
That's a good idea.
Or maybe high schools, like FFA programs or something like that.
Yeah, and I love that. Great.
I know that they've contacted the MSU construction department, and they're going to have a day, a week, because they can actually do hands-on experience in real life instead of their prototypes that they have in their labs. So,
and we have several of the MSU students in our chapter as members. So that helps too.
Gotcha.
yeah.
And you said you had a couple other days of stuff on there too, right? Thursday and Friday.
So Thursday's the job site tour that we already talked about.
Oh, yeah.
And then Friday, we're just having a luncheon with our chapter members and maybe a few other people just to kind of recap how the week went and finalize some social media stuff. Just kind of get our week worth of activities rounded up.
Yeah. How many people do you have in your chapter, and what kind of does that have growth, or what's that look like?
So yeah, last year I think we closed the year at 25 or 26 members, where we lost a few when it came up to renew time, and now we're up to 29 again. So our year runs from October 1 to September 31st or 30th, whatever. So yeah, we've grown quite a bit this year.
Yeah. What's the the incentive you have to get people in it? How do you try to grow your chapter?
That's a good question. So as the membership chair, I do a lot of my efforts throughout the year are focused on trying to get new members in, explain to current members what the benefits are, just make sure that they're comfortable being new to the chapter. As a member, anybody can recruit a new member, and then you get credit for recruiting. That's not why we do it. We recruit new members because everybody brings a certain content, and we're only as valuable as our membership. So we definitely try to be diverse in the people that we try to bring in. We will take anybody who's in the industry that wants to join who's a female.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it just women that are working construction, or can any woman who wants to advocate for it?
You have to have a job in construction. The kind of the way to judge that is if construction was not an industry, would you still be employed? And if the answer to that is no, then typically we don't accept them as members. It can get a little fuzzy, so it's definitely a case-by-case situation.
Yep.
Gotcha. And is that something you can just join, or is there like a yearly fee to get into it? Or
There is a yearly fee. And depending on when you come in, they've changed it where if you came in this month, your year would be from March to
Gotcha.
March.
Gotcha. Don't have to pay for a full year that way. Or you do,
Yes.
but from that
Yes.
point. Okay, gotcha,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yes.
Our dues are relatively cheap so that we can make it an affordable option for any women that want to join and or the companies that want to sponsor them in their membership. Our fees are under $300 per year.
Gotcha.
Per member.
So that's pretty affordable for everybody.
Yeah.
And do you guys I assume Branco and Queen City's both in this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
As business sponsors?
Yep. Branco definitely supports me in everything that I have requested to do as far as NAWIC goes. And we have some of the biggest avenues for NAWIC and their education is through regional events and national events. There's 3 events each year, 2 regionally and 1 nationally. And there's a ton of professional education at those events. So they can be hosted anywhere in our region, which is in the Midwest, or anywhere in the country once a year. So we kind of travel around, and that has a bigger expense, and our dues don't cover that.
Oh,
The
gotcha.
dues pretty much just cover the monthly meetings and the things that we do locally.
Yes.
So there is a little bit of expense, but it's well worth it. And a lot of companies, particularly smaller ones, don't have very vast training programs. So this is a great avenue for women to get career education, leadership training, skill development, and in a safe atmosphere where they feel comfortable and they're not having to compete with male counterparts.
Yeah. Is it do you guys get together and like do scholarships for people and stuff like? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yep.
We do have a scholarship that we give out yearly to someone here in Southwest Missouri. And we send out scholarship applications which they can also contact us on social media for an application. We contact OTC and MSU, and we're trying to contact Crowder just to get the applications out there. We give $1,000 scholarship every year, and then we have a specific event that we host yearly. It's our cornhole tournament, and that's how we raise money for our scholarship fund.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll give you guys I got a whole bunch of ag teachers and college professors stuff that were like FFA related and agriculture related, and that's kind of those construction and agriculture they kind of mix in and that kind of thing. So you guys might be able to get a lot more members just through those contacts.
Yeah, that'd be great. So, that'd be awesome.
Where do you guys see the future of your organization, in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? What does that look like in your mind?
I'll let you talk about that.
Honestly, I think the way that it is growing, we're getting in newer, younger members that bring different to the table. They are wanting different out of the organization, which is what we're trying to do. It's a matter of whatever you put into your organization is what you're going to get out of it. If you just want to pay your dues and don't, come to events or, they get out what they put into it. So I think, we have a good group of members who are helping drive it to the point that they're wanting to go. So I see more growth. It's just a matter of what we all want to do with that.
We have a ton of momentum right now. I will say that not only NAWIC, but construction in general, as you guys probably know, is hard pressed to find good people, keep good people. We definitely have not enough people in the trades. It's a problem, and it's not just a problem for NAWIC and for women, but across the board. So, one of the things that we focus on is trying to diversify the workforce, and by getting more women into the industry helps accomplish that goal for everyone.
Do you think people they aren't wanting to do like manual labor jobs anymore? Or why do you think it's getting harder and harder to find help?
I see that in the roofing industry. I think the younger ones that are coming up and coming into work, they don't want to work that hard. And which is hard. We're trying to, again, what do you want? You can't, sleep in on Monday and then come in and work Tuesday and off on Wednesday. And they don't understand that. It seems like a lot of the younger, I sound like an old person, the younger generation doesn't want to work that hard. But the pay in the construction industry is amazing.
Well, if there's a high demand and a low supply, I'm sure construction jobs will start paying better too. So that's a better reason to get into it.
Yes.
So.
It's one of the few industries where you can start with basically no skill in some kind of internship program or apprenticeship program and get paid while you learn. It's one of the few places to do that. And those are state governed programs that have a set criteria. So you really can't go wrong.
That's one of the crazy things that Branco does that I can't believe they paid for is they would, Wednesdays or Thursdays, they would send their group of young guys up to school and...
Yep. It's Friday now, but yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, they'd send them up there and you'd have like a paid day of basically college.
Yep. So that's exactly what it is.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah,
it's
they just
4-year apprenticeship program, and at the end of that 4 years, you graduate out as a journeyman and making a journeyman wage.
Yep. Yeah, I thought that was an awesome thing that they did. I was like, I don't know how they're affording to do this, but it's a cool thing that they...
It helps them too. I mean, they're getting qualified labor at the end of that 4-year period that they helped to train specifically in the needs that they want or the trade that they're in. So it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
I was actually doing a little bit of Googling before I came over here, and I saw that the organization nationally had started a lot longer ago than I would have thought. It was in like the 50s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In Texas.
Started in 1953, just a group of women supporting each other, and then when they chartered it nationally in 1955. So, and that's back when, you had to wear dresses and bouffant dues, and
it's funny to see some of those old pictures. I'm like, you were in construction?
How do you think they would feel about if they, if those women had seen you guys today?
They probably have some of the same remarks.
Yeah, we're not professional enough from some of the older.
Whatever gets the job done,
and,
Yeah.
Women are, we are not professional enough. We are not going by the book in the way it's supposed to be.
Well, that just shows you that it's headed in the right direction, though. Everybody can kind of be themselves and do
that's
anything.
What I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're doing what the world is doing. We are evolving, we're changing, and to continue getting new members, that's what you have to do.
Yeah. Cece and I have both been in NAWIC for about 10 years, maybe a tad more, but I can tell you just in that 10 years, we've seen the events and the meeting criteria change from being real strict to having the flag and all of the kind of pomp and circumstance and formal meeting setting. It's changed to be a little bit more, we've gotten rid of some of the things that don't really help the meeting. They just were part of our tradition. So
Gotcha.
we definitely are evolving to make it more beneficial and make the most of everybody's time.
Do you think there'll ever be a time when women in construction workforce is commonplace enough that there won't even be a purpose for your organization, or do you think it'll always be around?
I think in terms of women being in the workplace being just a commonplace term and not a non-issue, I think we'll definitely get there. I think one of the things that NAWIC has to offer is just the support system. Mm-hmm. I do think that will always be necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, it's not just in construction, I imagine. It seems like women in all kinds of jobs that they didn't used to be is coming up a lot. When I graduated high school, I joined the Navy and I was on submarines, and women, I was never with women on submarines, where the rest of the Navy had mixed genders. Submarines still hadn't changed to it until like 2011 or something like that. And so as time goes on, they're integrating more and more and more into it. And I wonder what it's like for women who are being some of the first few women to be, in that field, and what made them decide. They're like, I can actually do this instead of the way it's just been for the last 100 years.
That's a great question.
I think it's the same mentality that construction we've dealt with in construction that is in the armed forces, to be real honest with you.
I wonder if they have any sort of groups that, like NAWIC, that help them out there, or if it's, I guess I'm not a woman in that field, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, but that is a great question.
Yeah.
Might be something to look into.
Yeah.
I know, you can tell women who are successful in our industry have sort of a pioneer mentality. They're not the ones who are extremely successful, don't have, I guess, the fear and or they want to break those barriers for some of the other women. So you can kind of tell who's who, and you can find a lot of women that just need a little bit of help along to be that great person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have somebody to encourage them to do it.
Yeah.
So in both your guys' companies, have you seen a growth in women start to come in since you guys have been in this group?
Not in my company.
Gotcha.
We've had a few women apply, but they don't.
Gotcha. Don't get the job for whatever reason.
Well, they just don't apply.
Oh, gotcha.
Or if they do, I got a different job. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Have there been anything that your organization has done that you guys feel really proud of that you can think of off the top of your head that is basically kind of what it was for?
So I know from Branco's perspective, Branco's a big part of the Association of General Contractors, AGC, and AGC has a women's organization within it called Women of Steel. And I know Branco is a big part of getting that developed and a huge supporter of it every month and year. And I'm part of that as well as the other women at Branco. So I know that they're proud of that. I'm proud to be part of it. It's a brand new organization. I think it's maybe been a year or so in the works. So that's pretty exciting.
And so you feel pretty proud about that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah. And it's, that's just within AGC. It's very similar to what NAWIC does though.
So you said you guys are trying to win a competition.
Yeah, what's that about?
What's some of the other unique things other people have tried in the past, I guess?
So the competition is just in NAWIC, there's different size chapters.
Okay.
Small, medium, large, depending on what your membership's like. And you can win any of those categories. We're a small chapter, so we would fall into that category. And you're judged on your social media use, unique ways to promote WIC Week and or things that are just out of the norm. Proclamation is definitely something all chapters will do, so that's not going to get us extra points, but this podcast might.
Yeah, there you go.
The Habitat for Humanity is really going to cross off a lot of boxes because we're partnering with Habitat, we're volunteering in our community, we are doing a hands-on exercise. All of those are things within the contest that we would get points for.
Cool.
And then
you guys get a trophy? You win?
We'd probably get a plaque of some sort. Yeah.
There you go.
They were saying regionally maybe a cash prize.
That's hard to beat.
Really?
That's why you're wanting to do a podcast.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we have the viewership to get you where you want, so you'll have to share it around.
Yeah,
definitely will.
Sure.
We'll
Yes,
share it.
and their shares and likes too
Yes.
on social media. Yeah.
Yep. So everything we do on social media has to have the hashtag for the event, and we get credit for it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you'll have to provide us with some of that info afterwards, and we can do it whenever I
help you
finish the editing and get it all ready to put up there.
Sounds good.
Now, if it's cash, we gonna split it or what?
Yeah, if we get that
That's
far, we'll
on
see.
camera.
Yeah, there you go. Here, sign this real quick.
Honestly, it's just about getting awareness out there. So we're just pushing ourselves to try to be better.
So, any women who feel like they want to join, how do they do that?
They can contact us through our website, which is, I forget, Southwest Missouri NAWIC. I'll have to share that with you.
Whenever I find it.
There's every chapter has a little bit different of a title.
I believe it's NAWIC SWMO number sign.
Yeah, we'll get that for you, but they can reach out to us.
That's kind of hard to remember.
It is kind of hard.
A bunch of stuff.
We have a Facebook page. We have a website. You can go to the national website, which is nawic.org, and from there you can just go to the membership link and inquire there or apply. You could contact any of our members locally, and they can get anybody that's interested with the info needed.
Has the advent of all the social media and internet helped the growth of the organization, or?
Absolutely. So I think about 10 years ago, we were at roughly 3,000 members nationwide, and now we're well over 6.
Awesome. Double.
Or 7. Yep.
Is there any events or ways that your guys' organization could help that you want to happen that hasn't happened yet, that, something in the back of your mind that a project you're trying to work on or something like that?
So I think Cece and I will probably both have a different response to this, hopefully. I know one of my things I'd like our chapter to help with is to do a little bit more workforce development, meaning to go to schools and talk to girls in classrooms and guys, it doesn't matter, just to help do our part in making construction as a viable career aware, just to spread that awareness. And as a project manager, I know that that's important, and so I'd like to see our chapter get a little bit more involved that way.
Yeah,
we do work with Build My Future, so we have a booth there where we kind of talk to the students, and which is a great event. But we could probably do better if we got to small classroom sized.
What kind of event audiences. Is that? Is that in Springfield at like the expo or something?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
And just
it's at the fairgrounds.
All of the surrounding schools are invited, and they get out of class to go
there
to
you go.
The expo center. There are a lot of businesses that have booths. It's hands-on. MSU, they have their build a bridge, so they build a PVC bridge.
Oh, okay.
OTC has their lineman school, so they'll have a pole and they can actually climb a pole. Like April said, we have our booth, which is like a relay, hammering a nail and threading bolts, and it's a race. You're racing against the person next to you, but getting that knowledge out that there are what construction is. There's tile layers, concrete, you name it. I mean, everybody is there. It seems to me that most of the people that come are young men. The girls are there a lot of times to be with their boyfriends,
Gotcha.
Which getting the word out to girls, which is what we try to do in that sense. When they come, it's like, have you thought about getting in the construction trade? And they're like, what? No. Just getting, opening their eyes to that. And a lot of it, to get kids into construction, their parents are another roadblock.
Mm-hmm.
Because the parents don't want their kids, you don't work in the winter. Yeah, you do. You don't work when it rains. Well, yeah,
Sometimes you do.
I mean, and it's not just outside work. You have inside work. You have project managers. You have estimators. You have, superintendents, all kinds of work in the construction industry, and the pay is amazing. But to get that information to the parents, because the parents, a lot of the parents just want their kids to go to college, even though they don't know what they want to do in college. So, which they can get into, like April had said, an apprenticeship program, learn a trade, and in 4 years, when their counterparts are graduating from college, they could be making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, and not in debt.
Yeah, that's the big thing about going to college for that long, is you get all that student debt and then may not have a job that's good enough to pay off the debt, versus going into a trade and they teach you and it's your money ahead immediately.
Yes,
so
exactly.
So the thing that Build My Future does is it brings together, I don't know, hundreds of trade organizations and companies like ours in one place, where the 3,000 students that are registered right now can come and walk through and pick and choose the things they want to learn about. Every booth has a hands-on experience of some sort. And you would be surprised at how many kids have never touched a hammer or threaded a bolt or definitely not climbed a pole. I mean, there's tons of things there that they've never done, but even the basic stuff sometimes is a struggle.
Have you personally ever seen anybody who had never, any women who had never even thought about working in the industry, that your organization was able to get them a successful career in construction?
I do remember one lady or girl from Build My Future a couple years back, and I don't know what she's accomplished, but you could definitely see the light come on in her when she was talking to some of our members about options. She came back to the booth probably 10 times that day just to talk more and more and more about it. And she was very interested. She also was in the welding program. I can't remember what school she was in, but I'd like to think that she probably went on with more confidence in what her choices were. I think we've had other people that might be in a construction position, like admin or something, where being part of our organization or just having mentorships through any of us helped them get, farther down their road, get into project management or other things.
Is there anything that men in that industry could do to make it easier for women in the industry?
Sure.
Yes. Stop telling them that men don't have an organization. Why should women? I hear that so often, and it's so frustrating. And yes, it might be somewhat true, but you guys can make.
They didn't have to go through everything that women have to go through just to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And that they can do it. I think men can help women in when they ask a question.
Take them seriously.
Answer the question. Yeah. Versus, acting like and then you don't know, and they make you feel stupid.
Yeah, it's just supportive.
It's exactly. Supportive and helpful.
Are those things that, if you got what you were talking about, going to schools and advocating for, are those things you would talk to, students about, just making it easier on women for coming into the industry?
I would. I mean, I think sometimes our efforts are best focused by talking to educators, like Cece mentioned earlier, parents, some management in different firms who you might see roadblocks with. just in our chapter, we have some members who are fully supported by their business owners and some who aren't. And so you can kind of tell where somebody might be struggling with explaining what the benefits are and what it brings to the company. I know that my membership in NAWIC is a value to Branco because of the skills and stuff that I learn.
Same here.
I was going to say something I can't remember.
You lost your train of thought.
I do that
on it.
every episode, basically. Where I have like, oh, that's a good question.
So what's your little? You got a sticky note on the side here. Have we?
This is just the people that are coming to volunteer.
Oh, gotcha.
On Wednesday at the Habitat build.
So is that you guys are breaking the ground on Wednesday, or is it like halfway up, or what's?
Honestly, I'm not sure where they're at. They were supposed to break ground in February, but with the weather and the snow and stuff that came through, I'm not sure how far they are.
Gotcha.
We just have to show up. They're going to have all the tools that we would need.
So is that something you guys started that too, or is there another group of girls that did that, like the breaking the ground and everything?
So they have the Habitat and Women's Build has its own website where you can go on. Anybody, men, women,
Gotcha.
construction, not construction, can go in and volunteer for a day. So I don't know, like Cece said, I don't know where they are in the progress, but every day that goes by, they just get different volunteers. So our organization volunteers at least once a year, not always with the Women's Build, but on some of the Habitat projects.
Have either of you ever personally gone and done any of those types of things?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Built houses?
Yep.
I've never built a house.
We built a ramp,
Yeah.
just us girls,
Yeah.
with I can't remember who was the organization. I don't remember.
It was just a local handyman, and then a church.
And he was the only man on the build, and it was our group, and it was two Saturdays, wasn't it? One Saturday we set the posts and hammered them up, and the next weekend we just finished it off, cutting off, and
Yeah, there were 6 or 7 of us chapter members that participated in that and allowed a woman who was stuck in the hospital the opportunity to get home. But she didn't have any way to get into her house prior to that, so
gotcha.
It was all done through donations and volunteering of our time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
I know the Habitat for Humanity, you can just go donate, say if you remodeled a house or something, you had a good door, you could just go donate it to them or something.
100%.
Or you could go and buy stuff.
Oh, really?
And donate it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to
I didn't
be
know that. I thought it was...
Yeah.
Yeah, what's this place? No.
Yeah.
Yep, they will take surplus materials. They will take materials that you purchase and donate to the organization. They will take financial donations. I've seen a local concrete company donated all the concrete for the Women's Build. And other builds. They've done a lot for them. But people donate windows, wood, labor.
Most of it is a donation. They have a core group that stay on the project to guide you and help you with what they want you to
Gotcha.
do.
Mentors or something like that.
Their project manager or maybe superintendent, I'm not sure, but she's also a woman.
Cool.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
I wonder if your organization had been more prolific in the past, how many more women would be in construction. I have 4 sisters.
Right.
None of them have ever even probably thought about doing construction. I imagine that's pretty common just because of the way the industry is set up.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, like I've said, one of our biggest focuses is just getting awareness out there that construction is available, and it's available to women, and there's nothing wrong with it, and there should be no reason they can not consider it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an interesting thing that it's just a psychology thing that people for whatever reason, the way society is set up, women aren't meant to think about doing construction.
But I think it's kind of the same thing. We wouldn't think of going and working at a childcare place. It's just kind of a social thing around
Yeah.
It is.
And do you think that that's more has more effect in certain areas than others? In bigger cities or something like that. That it's less. Do you think?
Absolutely. I think in cities like Springfield, you will see far fewer women working in the trades, in the field with their hands. Whereas St. Louis and bigger cities, there's quite a few more.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I wish I did.
Okay, yeah, because
There's probably just more people, so
higher population,
Yeah.
more people spreading the word about awareness.
yeah, whatever they're doing there could just be the key to getting it
They could.
spreading, I guess.
Yep, it could.
Or their parents in the trades and, working
Yeah.
with their dad.
Many times it is a family affair, yes.
Yeah.
Starts that way anyway.
Yeah, now that you mention that, my cousins and stuff in Arkansas, they build houses and stuff, and I think they have 5 daughters. They have a bunch of kids, but they all work in the family business, and that's mostly all women in their construction crew, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, especially when a father owns a business, maybe the last place he would want his daughter to be would be out on a job site. And so you get that sometimes too.
Do you think there's a stigma at all about that men have towards women in construction, that they can't do it the same as men, or that they shouldn't, or something like that?
I think that it's there. I believe that it is there. I know that there's we had in one of our regional events, a woman was the keynote speaker, and she was saying that she the dad worked in concrete, and the daughter wanted to work in concrete, but he was pushing her to school, and she didn't want to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, why do you want your daughter to go to school when she wants to do what you're doing? What don't you like about your job that you don't think it's good enough for your daughter to do? And he never really thought about it, because he loved what he did, but he never thought, why do you think that your job is not good enough? That you have to, it's almost like construction workers are second-rate people. I don't know. I mean, it's weird. It does have a stigma, because most people that work in construction, their hands are cracked and bloody and, scabbed up and, calloused and everything. I mean, and I know, back in the day, you're not higher quality people. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a hard job.
Yeah, it is a very hard job.
So to the people that keep pushing that sort of stigma, what would you say to them? If somebody was standing right here saying, to you, women can't do construction, what would you want to say to them?
Watch this.
We'll bleep it out if it's real bad. So
Well, that's kind of why
I definitely
watch this.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Watch this is good. Also, you got to remember that men and women are built a little bit differently, and to compare each of us to each other is not exactly apples to apples. It doesn't mean that we don't bring good value to jobs, and that we can't hold our own. We may not win competitions against the biggest, bulkiest guy out there, but we can certainly hold our own.
Neither will, Cody either. So
You can't carry the 50-pound bags up a ladder, but
if somebody asked me to carry a 50-pound bags up the ladder, I'd probably fall off. So,
well, guys, thanks for coming out, and you want to say your Facebook and social stuff again, and then we'll take a picture and we can end it.
Yeah, or do you have any closing remarks, any things we didn't get to that you think?
I can't think of any.
I think we've covered a lot of our organization, and come out, next week if you're available to see the things that we have offered. We do have our Facebook account, Southwest Missouri, NAWIC Southwest Missouri. And you can even look up NAWIC on Facebook, Instagram. Go to their website. You can search us through those websites easily enough. That all of our contact information is there. Mm-hmm. You can contact us.
Awesome.
All through those.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you like that, we've got a lot more content on Patreon. It's patreon.com/DTMWFI. We got behind the scenes content. We got early access stuff. We've got videos that are exclusive to Patreon that we won't post on YouTube. We got tons of stuff like that.
Yeah, and we've also got pages on TikTok and Instagram. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.